the woman we simply called Aachi. When I was growing up in Sri Lanka, there was a woman who helped look after our family. We never called her by her first name. To us, she was simply Aachi. As a child, I never thought that was unusual. Every family seemed to have an Aachi. She had beautiful, tightly curled afro hair that danced in the breeze. She wore a lungi wrapped around her waist and a cropped blouse that never seemed to change. She was incredibly strong. The kind of woman who could spend hours grinding grain with a hand mortar until it became flour, or pound dried chilies without ever slowing down. Yet despite that strength, she was one of the gentlest people I knew. She laughed loudly. She sang while she worked. Sometimes it was Baila. And sometimes she'd start dancing while grinding grain, and before long we'd all be laughing with her. She spoke to us in Tamil, she chatted with neighbours in Sinhala, and every now and then she'd slip into another language I couldn't understand. As a child, I assumed everyone spoke like that. I never asked why. She was just Aachi. She told stories while she cooked, stories that seemed older than the house itself. She'd make rich coconut sweets like bibikan and dodol that only appeared on special occasions. She loved boiled cassava with fiery lunamiris. Back then, they were simply the flavours of childhood. Today, I realised they were pieces of history served on a plate. Years later, I found myself wondering, who was Aachi? Where did her songs come from? Why did she speak those strange words? Aachi belonged to one of Sri Lanka's smallest communities, the Afro-descendant Kafirs. Their ancestors arrived centuries ago during Portuguese and Dutch rule, some as soldiers, some as sailors, some through the tragedy of slavery. Yet over generations, Sri Lanka became their home. Many kept a unique Portuguese Creole alive, a language born from Africa, Portugal and Sri Lanka. Their music helped shape what we now know as Baila, blending African rhythms with Sri Lankan life. Their festive roasts and recipes, like dodol, became woven into our rich food culture. Their story isn't just African, or Portuguese, or Sri Lankan, it's all three. And that's the real story of Sri Lanka. A place where people from different continents met, shared meals, and created something new together. I remember Aachi because she made me feel safe, because she danced while she worked. She introduced me to a culture that I wouldn't truly appreciate until I was an adult. She never sat me down to teach me history, she simply lived it. Maybe that's how culture survives. Not only in museums, but in ordinary people. In the songs they sing and the food they cook. And the children who grow up thinking that's simply what home sounds like. Today, the Afro-descendant community in Sri Lanka is small, but their contribution is immeasurable. Their music still makes us dance. Their food still brings families together, their language echoes through history, and their story deserves to be remembered as part of Sri Lanka's story. I'd love to hear from you. Had you ever had dodol? Did you know its origin story in Sri Lanka? Have you heard of Sri Lanka's Afro-descendant community before today? Do you remember someone from your childhood who quietly introduced you to another culture without you even realising it? And if you're from this community, I'd be honoured if you shared your family's stories in the comments so more people can learn about this remarkable part of our shared history.